Welcome back to Game Talk 24/7. I'm your host, Josh Cunningham. Before we get to the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and like the video. It really means a lot. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. Also, don't be afraid to comment down below. Without further ado, let's talk sports. Hey guys, welcome back to Game Talk 24/7. Today is Thursday, December 11th. We are 14 days away from Christmas, 2 weeks away, and 1 week away from the start of the college football playoff. It starts next week, December 19th. And boy, are we excited. But we've also had some exciting, or maybe not exciting, but some big things have happened the past couple of days. First off, we're just going to start off talking about Phillip Rivers. First time we've talked about the NFL this year on Game Talk 24/7. Once the college football season's kind of coming to a close, we're gonna start mixing in more NFL and college basketball and all that. But Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers. You already got old man Rodgers in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers. You got old man Flacco with the Bengals, the backup with the Bengals, and now you got old man Rivers coming out of retirement to be the quarterback for the Colts. Will he be the starter or will it be Riley Leonard? Probably Phillip Rivers. I mean, he's a little bit more talented than Riley Leonard. The only thing is he's older than Riley Leonard, but he's obviously a better quarterback than Riley Leonard. But with Daniel Jones getting hurt and Anthony Richardson being hurt, they needed to call on somebody, and they called on Phillip Rivers, who, while looking at practice, I mean, you may watch him and look like, man, he's throwing the ball like he's old. Except that's how he's always thrown the ball. He has a little bit shorter of an arm path, so it looks like he's more pushing the ball, and it looks like it hurts a little bit, but that's just kind of how he throws. It's kind of how he's always thrown. He had some zip on the ball. He looked like he was ready to go. He looked like he was ready to compete. It looked like he may have gained some weight since the last time he played, which was 2020. But he's excited to be back for the Colts, and I'm excited to see him play for the Colts if he's a starting quarterback. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'd like to see Phillip Rivers, have some fun out there throwing the ball around to the Colts receivers and tight ends and running backs. I think that'd be fun to watch. But no, old man Rivers is out of retirement. That was a shocker to me. I did not see that coming whatsoever. And, the NFL ain't a retirement home, but they do got some old players, and sometimes those old players can play some football. And Phillip Rivers, if he can still play football, who knows? Depending on how he does with the Colts, who knows? Maybe he'll stay for another year. Who knows? We'll wait and see. I mean, he just came out of retirement, and, wow. Again, I did not see that coming. I mean, you had so many quarterbacks that you could have gotten, like Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and just so on and so on. So when you see Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement, hey, that's exciting. I mean, it's also probably the best thing for the Colts because the offensive scheme the Colts run, Phillip Rivers runs with his son's high school football team. So Phillip Rivers sits there and watches tape on this scheme a lot. He's called the head coach and the OC of the Colts and discussed film with them about the specific offensive system that they run, because again, that's the same system he runs with his son's high school football team. So he knows it like it's the back of his hand. He knows it better than most people. So who better than to get to come be your quarterback for it and be the one passing the ball, throwing it around, slinging around the rock to the pigskin. Sorry, it's not basketball, so it's not rock per se, but the pigskin to his teammates. It's a good one. I'm excited to watch him play. I hope he doesn't play like he just came out of retirement, like he's 44, even though he is 44. The biggest thing with him is going to be looking at his mobility. How mobile will he be able to be? But no, it's exciting to see Phillip Rivers play. Also, we have some big coaching news. So Penn State hires Matt Campbell. Yes, you heard me right, Matt Campbell, Iowa State's head coach. So Matt Campbell is a phenomenal head coach. He's the winningest coach in Iowa State football history. He's won Big 12 Coach of the Year, I think, 3 times. And so he's a solid coach, and he's been at Iowa State for a while. And it's always looking like congratulations to Penn State for A, getting their coach, but B, getting a guy that wasn't leaving Iowa State for almost nobody. I mean, it was very, very hard for Penn State to pry him away from Iowa State because he didn't want to leave Iowa State. Many people tried, many failed. Penn State, though, did the one thing that many people tried to do, and this time they didn't fail. But Penn State's not every program. Now, it might not be the best program in college football, but it's definitely up there with some of the best programs. It's a top 15, a top 10 job in college football. Yeah, I would say. But no, Matt Campbell is a phenomenal coach. I'm excited to see what he does at Penn State. He's done a phenomenal job at Iowa State with less talent, you could say, because, I mean, it's hard to recruit to Iowa State. It's not the biggest brand in college football. Now he's going to a bigger brand where he can get better recruits, and he's done more with less, you could say, throughout his career. So now the question is, how will he do with more? And so I'm excited to see that. Again, Penn State got their guy, Matt Campbell from Iowa State. He's a really good coach. Penn State got a good one. Now, Michigan, they just fired Sherrone Moore. I'm not going to dive into the personal aspects of it because I believe everyone in that situation deserves the respect and privacy. But we will dive into the football aspects of it. So Sherrone Moore was fired. Michigan needs a new head coach. Sherrone Moore is 1-1 against Ohio State. 1-1 against Ohio State. So the question is, who do they bring in to replace him? Do you upgrade someone from the current staff? No. You're Michigan. You're better than that. You're not going to upgrade anyone from your current staff. Like, for instance, why would you upgrade? Let's see. It don't matter. It does not matter. Why would you upgrade one from that current staff? Now, who do you call? There's some candidates you call that you make them say no. They're going to say no most likely, but you want to hear them say it. So Dan Lanning's going to say no, but you want to call him because Michigan's a better program than Oregon. They're going to say no. He's going to say no, but you want to call him. You want to call Marcus Freeman. He's probably going to say no. He played at Ohio State. Why would he want to go coach in Michigan? He's also at Notre Dame, a solid program. Probably going to say no. Kalen DeBoer, probably going to say no. Also, I don't know if he'd be able to pry him away from Alabama, but probably going to say no. Kurt Signetti, I get it. He just signed an extension, but guess what? You make him say no. You make him say no. He's probably going to say it, but you make him say no. He's looked phenomenal. Why don't you force him to say no? Kirby Smart I don't think would ever leave Georgia to go to Michigan, especially with how he's done in Georgia. So that's one I wouldn't call. I wouldn't call Ryan Day for the obvious reasons of he coaches at Ohio State. Why would you try and steal Ohio State's head coach? So those are the ones you try and force to say no. Then there's some others that are the realistic options. Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State. Phenomenal head coach. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. Done a phenomenal job at Vanderbilt. Mike Elko at Texas A&M. He's done a phenomenal job there too. So those are three that are head coaches in college football that you make a call to. Some non-head coaches you make a call to is Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, who was the defensive coordinator at Michigan when they had the whole sign stealing allegations. And now he's a DC at the Chargers. He's a very good DC. You're going to want to call him. You're going to want to call Brian Haynes, the DC for Indiana. I mean, Michigan's built around this toughness, running the football. That's what the program's built around. And unless you're trying to change the culture of the program and change that about the program, you're going to call these coaches that have toughness built into their programs. Jesse Minter was the DC of Michigan. They were tough. They were physical. Brian Haynes, Indiana, they're built on toughness and physicality. You see with Clark Lee of Vanderbilt. He's done a good job of building a Vanderbilt program that, well, Vanderbilt, he's doing good with. It ain't Michigan. They're built off toughness, physicality. Again, Mike Elko, Texas A&M, he's at Texas A&M, he's in the SEC. They got a lot of money, but it ain't Michigan. It ain't a top 8 program in college football like Michigan is, or a top 8 job in college football like Michigan is. Because Michigan might be higher than a top 8 program, but the job is probably a top 8, 6, or 7 job. There's some jobs that you definitely serve better than Michigan, but there's also a lot of jobs that aren't. And so those coaches aren't that job. Kenny Dillingham, you said he was never going to leave Arizona State. You give him a call because guess what? He's a solid coach. And he has playoff experience and success because he succeeded with Arizona State in the playoffs. They made it to the quarterfinals. They lost to Texas in an overtime game in a battle against Texas, a game they probably should have beat Texas in. So you look at it and you say, man, there's some good options on the line. You can either go with people who have head coaching experience, or you can go with people who are coordinators in college football that have experience being a good coordinator and doing their job coordinating well, like Brian Haynes or Jesse Minter, who has college and NFL coordinating experience. And so you look at that and you say, okay, well, there's some of the names they could call. What's the best option out of all this? And the best option out of all of those would probably be, of the most realistic ones, Clark Lee. I say that personally, saying he's a solid head coach at Vanderbilt. He's able to recruit to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's not the best program. It's hard to recruit. It's a little bit harder to recruit there. Until these past 2 years, they haven't been the most successful program. They haven't until Diego Pavia showed up. and Clark Lee showed up and they kind of changed the culture and the like, not history, but the culture around it. Clark Lee's like a Curt Cignetti. He's not Curt Cignetti because he's not doing it to the same success Curt Cignetti is doing it to. But give Clark Lee more, and meaning more talent, a better staff, more players, better players. Guess what? He's gonna do more, and he's already done solid at Vanderbilt. That would be my top can because he comes with physicality and toughness. You're saying, oh, Josh, you're an Ohio State fan. You're going to obviously say whoever you want. Why should we listen to you? Well, I don't care who Michigan gets, per hearsay. But also, I like to be real. I like to say when my team sucks. I like to say when they're good. I like to say when Michigan's team is good and when they suck. But also, I'm not going to say a candidate that shouldn't be that shouldn't be a candidate for their job because that's just pathetic. That's a waste of my time then. Why would I be doing this whole segment? You know what I mean? So, I'm going to be realistic with you guys. I'm not going to just give you guys a bunch of crap and give you guys a load crap saying, oh, you guys should go out and hire the 4th grade coach at whatever school in Wyoming. Like, no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you realistic options. Jesse Minter would also be a really good option. He's a really phenomenal defensive coordinator and was really good with you guys when he was there. Really good in the NFL. I don't know how he'd be as a head coach because he hasn't been one, but he is a phenomenal defensive coordinator. I will like to say that. Bryant Haynes at Indiana is a phenomenal defensive coordinator. And if you don't get him, someone else will eventually because he's on that next up and ups for head coaching jobs. Or at least he should be because he's a phenomenal coach, as we can see, and as we've seen with what he's done at Indiana. And he also has been with Curt Cignetti throughout Curt Cignetti's mostly whole career, if not his whole career. And, well, he wins. Just like Curt Cignetti does, he wins. If he's been with him almost the whole time, Curt Cignetti wins, he wins. So he's a proven winner. Clark Lee, he's a winner at Vanderbilt. Michigan's definitely a better program than Vanderbilt and a better coaching job than Vanderbilt. So it'd be hard to see Clark Lee not winning there. Mike Elko knows what it takes to build a program because Texas A&M, while they haven't been, well, they're good right now, but they've had spurts of really good times, really good seasons. They haven't been like that all throughout their history. And when Mike Elko gets there, he's replacing Jimbo Fisher and all the problems that came with that and came with him in that scenario. And he's built a culture, he's built a program, and he knows how to do that. And so you could go and get Mike Elko and say, give him a better program, a better job, better resources, give him more talented players. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, Texas A&M, but you can give him even more talent, and you can give him better players, and you could just see him thrive. Same with Kenny Dillingham. And we saw Kenny Dillingham, who's based off of toughness, physicality, and he's also based off of hard work at Arizona State. We saw it with like Cam Scatterbo at Arizona State would have been a beast at Michigan. Just one example. You could see Kenny Dillingham go to Michigan and have a lot of success at a program that's way better than Arizona State. He'll have better resources, he'll have better talent, better players, and instead of going to maybe just a quarterfinal, he could maybe go to a national championship and win a national championship. And that's the standard at Michigan. The standard there is beating Ohio State and winning a national championship. So you're going to want to get a coach that you think can do that there. But those are just a couple of people I've seen other people say should be on the mention and should be on the list of candidates. Also, people I just think should be candidates because they're really good coaches. And as an Ohio State fan, for one, I don't want Michigan to beat Ohio State, but it's not fun when Michigan's not good because when Michigan's not good, the game's not good. And I like the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry being good. Now, again, I like it when Ohio State beats Michigan, and I like it when Michigan loses to Ohio State. And I'm fine if Michigan's not good. But guess what? I'm not going to waste my time on a segment giving you all these candidates if I don't think any of these candidates would win at Michigan or could win a national championship at Michigan. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's a waste of my time. And also, I wouldn't be doing my job well at doing that. So, again, those are some of the candidates. You got some really good candidates in there. And we'll see what happens. We'll see who they hire. And we'll also see some news as the hiring process comes out and as they dive deeper into this the next couple days and the next couple weeks. Specifically, especially before the transfer portal opens up. This weekend, we have Army versus Navy. One of the biggest rivalries in all of college football. It's a phenomenal game every year. I have connections to both Army and Navy. I have family members who have served in both. And so my dad served in the Army, so I'm going to be rooting for Army to win. But I think Navy will win. Navy is a better football team. Army is 6-5 going to this game. Navy is 9-2. I think again Navy's just a better football team. Navy is favored to win by 6 points, so that's a very small spread when you look at it. I would pick Navy to win. I would pick them to cover the 6. But again, you get to see two service academy teams go out there and fight and battle against each other in one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football. And really all of sports. It's a great game every year. It's always a fun game to watch. It's also a game that preludes the Heisman Award ceremony and the trophy, not trophy, but the award ceremonies that goes on this weekend also, where we crown our Heisman, we crown other awards. And so it's always great leading into that. It's great leading into the bowl games and college football playoff games, which again start next week, December 19th. We're not going to talk about it today because you know what? We're going to save all the energy next week. We're going to let it simmer for a little bit. We're going to wait. We're going to let it cook a little bit. We're going to let that pot stir. And we're going to leave all that for a little bit for some of our episodes next week leading into those college football playoff games. In my previous video, I made my official picks of who I thought was going to win at each game and win the national championship. I didn't dive too deep into them again, though, because, again, we're going to save that for a little bit next week and when we get closer to the actual games that happen. But no, Army-Navy, it's always a great game. I'm excited for it. It's a great time of the year to spend time with friends, family, loved ones. You're coming into the holiday season. You're going to start seeing your loved ones more. People are going to start coming home from wherever they are, work or college for the holidays. So you're going to see people you haven't seen in a while. So it's a great time to spend time with your loved ones. Tell somebody you love them. And just, have a great time with your family. Go to church on Christmas Eve or Christmas, depending on what services your church does or the church you're going to go to does. And it's a great time of year, and it all happens now in December around a great season. The Army-Navy game, the college football playoffs, getting closer to a Super Bowl, getting closer to conference play in college basketball. It's always great. I'm excited for it, and I'm ready for it. Speaking of college basketball, we had some big games on Tuesday. You had UConn versus Florida and BYU versus Clemson. First off, let's just go to BYU versus Clemson. That was a crazy ending to a crazy game. So, first off, hats off to the Cougars for pulling off that comeback and winning that game. I mean, they were down by 22 at one point in that game, and they came back and won 67-64 on a late buzzer beater 3 by Robert Wright the third. He said, I'm going to start off a little bit behind the half-court line. Then I'm going to run up, catch the ball, and just let it go. Let it fly high. And I was confused at that moment for the purpose of there was about 1.4 seconds left on the clock. There's about 4.9. A timeout's called, I think, by Clemson for a defensive timeout. Then BYU dribbles the ball up. Robert Wright gets across half court, calls a timeout with 1.3 seconds left. And I'm like, dog, we just had a timeout. I get calling one there, but I'm like, man, you might limit your options here because you kind of just got to catch and throw now instead of being able to get something more on the run or on the move. And boy, did Kevin Young draw something up there. He drew it up to where, man, Robert Wright just caught it, threw it up, and it went right in. Buzzer beater 3, game time, prime time. And boy, Robert Wright third said, I'm made for this. And he said, you know what? We're gonna complete this comeback and we're gonna win. BYU was led by AJ DeBonce, who had 28 points. He went 9 of 17 from the field, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. He had 3 turnovers, 6 assists, 0 blocks, and he had a total of 9 rebounds and 0 fouls. So props, you're not getting a single foul when you play 34 minutes. That's actually quite impressive. You have Kei Wakeda, 10 points, 5-7 from the field, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 1 foul, and 1 broken rim. Because Kei Wakeda, he went for a dunk, and the boy's physical. The boy is strong. He is 6'8", 250, pure muscle. Sorry, 6'8", 231, pure muscle. He looks like more like 250 with the muscles that he's got. I mean, he's got some cannons. He went up, he dunked the ball, he moved the whole backboard like he was Shaq. Shaq would have broke the backboard, but he moved the backboard like he was Shaq, and he broke the rim, and they had to take a timeout to go fix the rim because of Kei Wakeda dunking the ball. Then, obviously, you have Robert Wright the third, 17 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, including the game-winning three. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 3 fouls, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 3 assists. Dude's a beast. Dude he is evolving his second year at BYU. First year at BYU, second year in college basketball. Sorry, we were just talking about college football. Second year in college basketball after coming to BYU for this year from Baylor last year in his first season. He's evolved a lot in his second season. He looks phenomenal. Robert Wright III is a solid point guard. Richie Saunders, surprisingly only 5 points, 2-11 from the field, 0-7 from 3, 1-1 from the free throw line, 1 turnover, 0 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Not a great game for Richie Saunders, but he's going to bounce back. He's better than that. We all know that. I mean, on the season, he's averaging 17.3 points, 5.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and shooting 47.7% from the field. So he's not going to go 2 for 11 every game. And he's not going to only have 5 points when he's averaging 17.3. He's better than that. He's going to get better than that. And BYU is a dangerous team. They are a solid basketball team. You have Kennard Davis Jr., 5 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 6, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 4 steals. Again, he's going to play better. He only averages 9.5 points a game, so it's not like he's crazy like 17 points like Richie Saunders, but he's going to get better. He's going to play better. And obviously, KB Keita. Only 2 points from BYU's bench, so their bench has got to get some more production, especially when you have one player playing 11 minutes and he had 2 points. Your bench has got to get a little more production. They can do that. The question is, will they do that? But no, what a comeback win from BYU. I mean, props off to Clemson and Justin Porter, their lead scorer for that game. 17 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, and 2 personal fouls. Good game from him. Another good game from RJ Godfrey, 13 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 0 shots from the three-point line, didn't take a single one, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 3 fouls. And so it was a solid game between the two teams. Clemson shot 31% from the three-point line. As a team, that's not good. You got to get better at that. If you shoot maybe 35 or closer to 40% instead of 31%, you probably beat BYU and win that game. But that's also, you got to give props to BYU and their defense and holding them to only 31% from the three-point line. BYU shot 22% from the three-point line, 5 of 23. Again, if BYU shoots more in the 30% range or 35 to 40% range, again, they easily win that game probably. But again, you got to give hats off to Clemson's defense and kind of making BYU's life a little bit harder. It was a tough fought game between the two teams. Clemson shot 36% from the field. BYU shot 40% from the field. Clemson shot 87% from the free throw line. BYU shot 86% from the free throw line. So it's a tale of two teams that were very close, neck and neck the whole game. One was better in three-point. One was better in field goal. One was basically the same at the free throw line, 87% to 86%. So it's like, hey, it's just it's drawing straws. Who's going to draw the longest straw? And BYU happened to draw the longest straw that day. BYU is a better team, and they did not play good. But you got to give props and credit to Clemson for the reason why they didn't play good. Another big game that we had was UConn and Florida. Sorry, not at Florida. These were both neutral site games, by the way, at the Jimmy V Classic. But UConn versus Florida. UConn won 77-73. What a game that was. And again, another close game in these neutral site games. And those are phenomenal. I love seeing close games. While the team I may be rooting for might not win, I root for good college basketball. I could care less who wins in a game against UConn or Florida. I may not like one team compared to the other, but guess what? I don't care who wins because I could care less. I want good college basketball. I want what's best for college basketball. Now, I don't really dislike UConn or Florida, so I didn't have a dog in the fight at all. And I'm like, you know what? I just want good college basketball. Even if I did have a dog in the fight, neither of them are my favorite teams. My favorite team is Kentucky. And right now, we suck. Kentucky's terrible right now. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. But, no, UConn and Florida, I didn't have a dog in the fight, really. I just want to see good basketball. Man, did they not miss. So, let's go to the winning team first off. UConn was led by Solo Ball, Terrence Reed Jr., and Alex Karaban. Yes, you heard me. Alex Karaban. He had a good game. He was balling. But they were mostly led by, in the points column, by Solo Ball, who had 19 points, who had 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 8 from the three-point line, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 3 fouls. Solo Ball had a great game. Terrence Reed Jr. had 12 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, and 4 fouls. Then Alex Caravan, 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, and 1 foul. And then you have Eric Riva, who's a freshman at 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, and 2 personal fouls. As a team, UConn shot 69% from the free throw line, so that's not great. You gotta get that up. You don't have to get up a lot, just somewhere like 75 into the 75 to 80% range as a team. But that's also just a 1-game sample size. They're a better free throw shooting team, I'm pretty sure, as a whole. And so I'm not going to take that 1 game and say, hey, take that 1 game and take it out of context and say, hey, you're a terrible free throw shooting team. They're a 71% free throw shooting team as a whole. So close to the 69%, but it's still better. And again, I'd like you to be 75 to 80, but you don't have to be. 71% solid for a whole team as a whole, especially with some of the bigs that UConn's got and how they're not some of them are not the biggest shooters, but they're still really solid players. But the reason why I say Alex Caravan's name twice is he had a big impact on the game. I mean, he came up clutch in the big moments. He made clutch threes to extend the lead or to take the lead back. He made clutch defensive plays, got clutch stops, clutch rebounds, and even though it was only 2 rebounds, he made the clutch plays in the clutch moments when it was a close tie game late. And so that's why I said Alex Caravan's name twice. He made the winning plays when they mattered and helped UConn pull off this win that they had pretty much the whole entire game against Florida. They led for mostly the whole game. Florida maybe have cut the deficit and tied the game up at one point, but they never really took the lead from UConn. And so UConn was always there. They always had the lead, and while it might not have been a comfortable lead, they were in control for most of the game. Florida, led by 3 players specifically, Xavier Lee, who had his best game. You might call it his breakout game for Florida. 19 points, 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line, 8 for 9 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 fouls. He's got to get better from the three-point line. 1 of 7 from the three-point line is not good. And he hasn't really been great from the three-point line this season as a whole. I mean, last year he shot 36.6% from the three-point line. This season he's shooting 20.3%. So that's not great. He's got to get better there. But he had his best game of the season with 19 points. He had a big impact with those rebounds and assists that he had. Again, with the 5 assists, 6 rebounds. So Xavier Lee, he got a lot better. He's continuing to get a lot better. And you're seeing his growth as a player throughout his time at Florida, and he's only going to get better from here. Let's see. Sorry, that was his second highest scoring game. He had 20 against Providence. I'd take 19 over UConn against 20 against Providence. 20 points ain't bad, but UConn's better than Providence. So when you score 19 at UConn, like 19 against UConn on a neutral site game, you're looking at that and you're like, man, Xavier Lee's starting to get a little bit better. He's starting to get a feel for it at this higher high major level compared to playing at Princeton and in the Ivy League. Because again, you ain't playing against the brainiacs anymore. You ain't playing against just mostly smart people who are getting a really good education and are smarter than most of us. You're playing against the big dogs. You're playing against some big boys, some professionals. Some people are gonna be professionals. Some big physical beasts. Gotta play better. And he's done tremendously well recently. He's showing that growth. And will he be their best player? No. Will he be Walter Clayton Jr.? No. But if he can be a solid point guard for them, then Florida has their ceiling goes up. Their floor goes up too. Boogie Flott had 8 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from the three-point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 fouls, so he fouled out. Ruben Chenyelu, 8 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 30 personal fouls, 2 blocks. Tommy Hoff, 18 points. He was their second leading scorer. He's been the best player mostly for Florida this whole season. 7 of 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers, 1 block, 0 steals, 4 fouls. Alex Conner, 14 points, 5 of 11 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3-point line, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 3 blocks, and 2 personal fouls. As a team, they shot 70% from the free throw line, 27% from the 3-point line, 42% from the field. Florida's got to get increase the 3-point percentage. If you want to win against teams like UConn, you cannot shoot 27% from the 3-point line. You want to at least shoot 30, which is still not good. You want to be more in that 35 to 40% range. And if they are, they probably beat this UConn team. But again, you also got to give credit again to UConn for their defense and how they played physically on all levels. But Florida's got to improve on the 3-point percentage. It's kind of not been great. I wouldn't say it's been a problem. Let's see, what is the 3-point percentage as a team? Because they've had some players with a good 3-point percentage, but as a team on the season, it's been a problem. Okay, yeah, 27.3% as a team. They only have one player shooting above 35%. That is Urban Klavsar. And then they have Tommy Hoff is shooting 34.7%. So that's actually not great. Boogie Flan's only shooting 3.8%. Xavier Lee is shooting 20.3%. So it's like, hey, your two starting guards are both shooting under 24% from the free throw line. Not free throw line, 3-point line. If that was a free throw line, that'd be awful. Sorry, 3-point line. They're shooting under 24% from the 3-point line. That is bad. And they got to improve that if they want to become a better team. Another good game that we had on Tuesday between some solid teams. It was Illinois versus Ohio State. Illinois won 88-80. It was at Ohio State. It's the beginning of some Big Ten play. Illinois is a really solid team. Again, you're bringing some European basketball over with Brad Underwood to Illinois. They're very good. Michigan whooped Villanova 89-61. They look like the best team in college basketball right now. Michigan is a scary basketball team. This weekend, on Saturday, you got some big games. You got Arizona taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's going to be a phenomenal game. I think Arizona's going to win that game. I think it's got a little bit more physicality. They got a little bit more size. They got a slightly better all-around team than Alabama, the Crimson Tide do. So that's one really big game. You have Arkansas versus Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's going to win. I think Texas Tech with JT Toppin. They have a really good big at JT Toppin. They have a better, as of right now, coach than Arkansas does. No offense to John Calipari, he just hasn't been as good as Texas Tech's head coach recently, because he's kind of getting more to the end of his coaching career. When I say end, he got maybe 5 to 10 more years left, whereas 10's a lot, but 5 to 10, and that's a maybe. It's not guaranteed. And so Arkansas has really good guards, but again, they're young. Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff, young. And so it's going to take some time. They've also been really good, but in a tough game against a Texas Tech team. It's also, at Texas Tech? Yeah, it's at Texas Tech. It's in Dallas, Texas, at the American Airlines Center. So while it might be a neutral site game, because it's not in Lubbock, Texas. I don't know where Texas Tech Stadium's at, though, in basketball. It's a tough place to play. Even no matter where you're playing Texas Tech in Texas, and it's going to be a tough game for Arkansas to win. I just think Arkansas struggled with a little bit of physicality this year, and I think they're going to continue to struggle with that. But again, who knows? I could be very wrong. ESPN's matchup predictor gives Texas Tech a 54.4% chance to win, and Arkansas a 45.6% chance to win. So it's obviously going to be a close game. I personally think Texas Tech's going to win. Arkansas hasn't looked phenomenal this year. They've done some good things, and they had a close game against. They had a close loss to Duke, 80-71, and a close loss to Michigan State. Those are their only losses, but they've also had some really bad games, like against Winthrop, 84-83, Samford, 79-75. Those are all wins, yes, but those are also really close wins against some teams that you should beat by 20 to 30 to 40 points. And so it depends on what Arkansas team shows up. If they show up as their best, they can beat Texas Tech. If they don't, Texas Tech will win and win comfortably. And so it depends. You could have a really good game, or you could have a really, really bad game from either teams, because both teams have struggled with consistency this year. And so Texas Tech doesn't show up their best. Arkansas could win by 20. Maybe not 20, but they could win by double digits. Same with if Arkansas doesn't show up with their best. And if both teams show up with their best, you're going to have a good game and a close game that I think Texas Tech would take home. You also have Nebraska versus Illinois. Nebraska is undefeated. They are 10-0. Nebraska is looking good right now. They're undefeated in college basketball, women's and men's basketball, and then their volleyball team is doing phenomenal too. And the number one team in college volleyball. So Nebraska's sports right now, they are going up. Their football team, they just had what, 8-4 season. I don't know exactly what their record was, but the records got better in year 3 under Matt Rule, not by a lot, but by a little bit. They're getting better and they're going up and they're on the rise. This Nebraska versus Illinois game is going to be really good. Both teams are solid. I expect Illinois to win though. I think the size that they have with the Ivisic brothers, and then everyone else that they have on their team, it's going to be hard to beat for Nebraska. But Nebraska could shock me. It's also going to be at Illinois, so or it's at the State Farm Center, which is in Champaign, Illinois. So yeah, it's at Illinois. And so, it's going to be a tough game. And then lastly, you got UCLA versus Gonzaga. I expect Gonzaga to win. I don't know if UCLA can handle the size and physicality of Gonzaga. Specifically, the size with Gonzaga, in my opinion, Gonzaga's best player, who is phenomenal, Graham Ike. And then they also have Braden Huff. Both are big. Let's see. Graham Ike is 6'9", 250. Dude's a beast. Dude's a tank. Then Braden Huff 6'10", 250. So you have two tanks, two with different skill sets, but both phenomenal players. Graham Ike is averaging 16.4 points a game, and Braden Huff's averaging 17 points a game. And then Graham Ike 8.1 rebounds, Braden Huff 5.1 rebounds. They're both solid players, and Gonzaga's a solid team, and I don't really see a way UCLA can win this game unless they have a crazy performance from Donovan Dent and company. And when I say Donovan Dent's not even been their best player there. He's only averaging 12 points a game, but he's also averaging 6.4 assists. But Donovan Dent can get you 20 points a game. Maybe not per game, but he can get you 20 points on any given night. We know that. I mean, Donovan Dent last year in New Mexico averaged 20.4 with the Lobos. So he can get you 20 points a game. He can get you 20 on any given night. He just hasn't really been asked to do that too much at UCLA. Sky Clark has 12.7, and Tyler Bilodeau averages 15.6. So you got to have those three show up, and you want to see Donovan Dent get to that 20-point range, and that gives you a good shot at winning this game. But it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be a tough game for UCLA to win. It's going to be a really good game. Again, I got Gonzaga. Now let's talk Kentucky real quick. Kentucky plays Indiana this weekend. They are 5-4. They haven't beaten a single Power 4 team, or Power 5 if you include the Big East and Power 5 in basketball. They haven't beaten a single one. All of their wins have come against mid-majors. And so they have lost to all the ranked opponents they've played and all the Power 4 teams that they've played. Can Kentucky get their first Power 4 win and kind of get the head kind of turned back on right just a little bit? It's going to take more than just one game to fix the ship and to right the wrongs that are going on at Kentucky with the lack of effort, the lack of physicality, the lack of hustle that we're seeing. But can they take a step in the right direction against Indiana before they then go play St. John's next Tuesday before then they go into SEC play? Because if they can't, then they basically can't lose an SEC play because it's going to be hard for them to. They have a long road to go before you can say they're going to get into March Madness. I wouldn't count them out. Obviously, we're only 9 games into the season, but it is a long road to go to get to where you want to go. And so, when you look at that and you say, man, we got this whole giant stretch. Sorry, they're 6-4, not 5-4, by the way. 10 games in, sorry. It's a long road to go. And so they got to take that one step forward. They got to take that step down the yellow brick road. Shout out to Wicked. Wicked 2 came out not that long ago. Great movie. You all should go watch it. If you haven't watched Wicked 1, go watch Wicked 1, then watch Wicked 2. But great movie. They got to take that step down the yellow brick road. They got to take that first step forward, and then take that next step forward against St. John's, and then take many more steps forward in conference play before we could say Kentucky is going to have a good year and be the team that we thought they would be in the preseason. But no, I hope you guys have a happy holidays. Again, it is Thursday, December 11th. It is the holiday season, the holiday time. As you can see, we got festive here today on Game Talk, and we're going to get even more festive as the season rolls along. I hope you guys have a great time spending time with friends, family, your loved ones. I hope you guys have a great time on the holidays. That's Game Talk 24/7. Thank you guys for watching.